We finally got some discounts. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Starting with the Gibson mod collection, they are doing a 15% off sale on existing guitars. And that sale basically saves you the sales tax and gives you, another 5-7% off. So it looks like they're trying to move through some of these old inventories. However, the launches this week were exempt from this. It's only the ones that have this banner on it. But let's get right into this week's offerings. Check this out. Green pear top, ES330. If there's anything I love more than animal-influenced ones, it's fruits and vegetable themed. You don't find those too often. But outside of our new finish, it looks like we've got those notched speed knobs circa 2014. And the black plastics work well with its new hue, and it looks like we just might have chrome pickup covers on this, which I love. The headstock appears to have been left alone, and as is typical on these semi-hollow refinishes, they do the back, but they leave the neck a more natural hue. But now on a standard 50s smooth bourbon. I don't think that's a normal standard 50s, that's one of the hog tops between the Gibson exclusive cherry and the TV yellow, but the center looks like a cherry one, but it doesn't have the black binding, so I don't know exactly what's going on with this thing. But then we've got gold hardware everywhere. We've got the reissue bonnet style knobs. The headstock is blank, and we've got the golden tuners. And oh, nice 70s style, burst in the back and the neck and the headstock on a standard. I like that. I'm curious if they did the edges. We got our new decal, but they did not put a new serial on it. But here's a 335 in turquoise metallic. As compared to the other offerings that we've seen so far, it's pretty bland, but trust me, there's some spicy stuff coming up here. This one's got the gold hardware, new knobs, new finish. The back of the neck is like a dark rusty brown, and the body matches the top with a regular old headstock. But now we party. Subtlety stripes for $5,300. When the 15% off sale first dropped, I was thinking this one was on it. I was tempted to pick it up, but no, it was not part of the sale. I love optical illusion guitars. They're a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me of Finland's flag, because if you look at it just right, you kind of get some crossing overs. But you've got like a big banner in this area, another big one that goes under there, and then it just goes down, and then other things go on top. It's crazy. It's a cool basket weave design, but on top of that, it's all sparkly, metallic flaked. The uncovered pickups work really well. Gold hardware, hey, why not? Matches your speed knobs. But if that is all they did, I'm not sure I would have loved this one. But no, my friends, things just get crazier from here. Would you look at that? Continuation of the design on the back, but the neck has not one, but two. It's a double extended stinger that kind of connects to each other, and then it's a very nice dark metallic blue neck, and the stinger itself is more of the additional banners. This is the craziest thing we've seen in the mod collection in a couple of months. So thank you, mod guys, for going all crazy and doing something fantastic. And now we've got a very interesting 80s Explorer called the Whale Shark. Mommy, my Les Paul looks strange. Zoom out, zoom out. Okay, so they just put a Les Paul style pickguard on an Explorer because, hey, 80s Explorers don't have the pickguard, so they can't. I'm not sure if I hate it or hate it not. It's interesting, but due to the fact that they screwed it into the top, you've got to leave it unless you're okay with some holes. Otherwise, you got your zebra bobbins in a new nice bluish gray hue. Face of the headstock, actually it does look like it's matching. It's just very dark. That is blue. And I can't quite tell, is that a reverse burst on the neck or is it just color shifting on us? Looks like color shifting from this angle. But now we got a cool J45 standard in sinister shifting black. But then down here they call it Peach Sparkle Static. Which is the truth? I don't know. It looks blue to me. I guess it just goes from black to blue and it's slightly metallic. But you get your kind of striped pickguard. Somebody tell me what that's called. I'm sure there's a name. Otherwise, it's just rosewood parts with a fairly regular headstock. And the back is completely matching with that blue, black, purplish hue. We got a lot of that this week. Hey, wait a minute. This one's Peach Sparkle Static. What was that doing on the other listing? Some sort of a website error, but for $3,300, we've got kind of a lavender sparkle. We had an R7 like that on the show once, but this time, maybe a bit more silver within it rather than purple. And then you got the zebra bobbins, reflector knobs, with a plain headstock with a new blanked out truss rod cover. And then the back is like a rusty red, keeping the original serial number with the mod collection decal. So those were all the new ones this week. However, there were 5 additional ones uploaded that were old. This one came from September 7th of 2022, a natural walnut Les Paul custom. Now, what does this mean that we're seeing something from 2 years ago? It was probably returned, or maybe it didn't sell and they took it down and decided to refresh it. I probably wouldn't have noticed, but I have a viewer of the show who tracks all the mod collection guitars, and he's been emailing me the links every week to help me out, and he's like, oh yeah, this one was from here, here, and here. But I do vaguely remember this one before. It's a 57 reissue with a satin finish, and kind of a light walnut hue. But it becomes obvious that this is an old one when you look at the serial number. Because look at that. That is destroyed serial number 17. We're like near 250 at this point. So that's one of the earlier ones when they adopted the new serial number style. So you've still got the mod stamp here, and this was slightly after that they did the Gibson mod collection big decal like the old prototype stamps. This one was listed July 31st of 2024, the Midnight Cherry 50 standard. It's just kind of a red burst in the perimeter shape, with the back relatively left alone, but then hey, Stinger happened. I do remember that now. It's something to make it a little bit more interesting. This one was from early October this year, the Ocean Waterburst. It's a 54 reissue. Gorgeous finish. Although, to be fair, the back is a bit strange. Then do you remember this one? It's from August 17th of 2024. They put a custom-made plaque to hide the tenon, and then they just removed the pick guard, got rid of all your volume and tone controls. That's a pickup on-off switch and an alter tone switch. And then other than that, you just have your new silver finish. For $3,800, not a lot going on with that one. There was also another one, but it sold and I couldn't pull up the listing again. But now let's check out the EU mod collection. I do need to stand corrected. Apparently someone was trolling me in the comments. There was no 30% off sale last week, but they had some awesome ones. Check out this blast. Not sure if it has anything to do with this band or not, but it's rather exotic, isn't it? It's like a neon red glow that fades into a pink, and then you just got a striking blue on top of that, a lot of flame underneath. I mean, it's not traditional. I would have never thought to spec a guitar like this, but I think it's unique. I'd give that a review and demo, witch hat knobs and all. The red border kind of matches with the reddiness of your rosewood, but they left the headstock alone. And they blew the budget on the top and just left the back in natural. This one's pretty out there. Atomic Wasabi. If you like satin finishes and big bright finishes, yeah. But what on earth? It's almost like it started life as a junior or something. Master volume, master tone, and then 3 independent switches. I wonder if each of those turn the pickups on so you can have whatever combination you want and then just control them in a simplified manner. That is an interesting choice. But everything else seems to be SG custom through and through outside of the missing pickguard. But they did not disappoint on the back. Truly is rounded like a junior. Someone must have messed something up, or it was a custom order that got blemished and they turned it into something new, because it's now part of the mod collection with a 2023 serial number. And then lastly, Misty Stripe. I'm fairly confident we've seen this before. This might be an export. It didn't sell in the USA and got shipped overseas. It's either that or they just did something very similar to this before. It's a nice stripe head design with a gradient to it. Clear knobs, no pickguard. It is an SG modern. Would have been really cool if they continued that design on the back, but no dice. But okay, I see what you did there, mod collection. I would have remembered that. This has to be a new example. I don't think we've ever seen a transition like that. Just lightly sprayed this area blue, but then let the natural white shine through. That's kind of cool. I would like to see more of that. But now the USA Demo Shop. They started listing things like mad. But the things that stood out to me, a Cary Green Epiphone J180 prototype. Apparently this is a thing. They've got pink ones, and they've got frost blue in a whole bunch of different hues. I'm not sure what the story is on Cary Green. It might be a dealer exclusive or something like that. Because apparently there's a lavender one out there too. But if you're gonna get one, it'd be cool to save like $100 and get a prototype. These are kind of interesting because of the star inlays, not only on the fretboard, but also the headstock. And it's one of those high-end Epiphones that has the Gibson headstock. Kind of Everly Brothers-esque. But next up, a prototype 1942 style Epiphone Banner J45. Again, if you're gonna buy one of these, might as well get a prototype and save a little bit of money. You might thank yourself in 20, 30 years. But why it's called a Banner J45 is it's got the... man, that is kind of funny now that I think about it. Typically that banner says only a Gibson is good enough, But for the Epiphone, it says inspired by Gibson Custom. Because if they said only a Gibson is good, that'd be just kind of hilarious. What's that? You're only buying an Epiphone? We will shame you publicly on your headstock. Had I had saw this, I might have picked it up for a review. It sold quickly. It's the prototype of the Firebird 1. I thought these were kind of pricey for what they were, but to have the additional talking point of that would have been fun, but that silver looks good. And these are very well-spec'd, traditional Firebirds from the parent company. They are true neck through. You can even see the wood lines right there. Next up, they had one of those 76 Deluxe reissues. However, they put the P90s in it. So after the Mike Ness Deluxe, I thought there was a runoff run of like they didn't sell them all, they decided to do a couple of wine red. No. By request, there is a custom shop deluxe now thanks to those Mike Nesses. We did review one on the show if you're interested in checking it out. But this just appears to be an older one that had some finish issues by the nut. This was a pretty cool Dirty Lemon 1959, and it has a nice top. However, I wanted to share it because look right there. There's like a weird dark spot in the top. Super identifiable characteristic, so it could be cool depending on the buyer. As far as the back, pretty standard as far as those go. Oops, looks like I forgot to pair this one with the other ones. It's a 59 prototype Epiphone for $1,000. That's $300 off and you get the prototype. Had I not already reviewed this model, I would have picked that up. It's marked just like the other ones with a proto stamp. Next up, there was a 67 Flying V reissue. You don't see these in the demo shop every single day, so I thought I'd point it out. $4,000, it's $1,500 off in the sparkling burgundy hue. Well, it looks like it's cheap due to some interesting things going on with the side of that fretboard. I'm sure that's just because of the bright lights are on it, and you probably wouldn't notice it normally. But this graphite Les Paul Modern, one of the older ones, I thought it had a very interestingly dark back. Like that is some rich mahogany to look like that. And at first glance, you might think this is black, but no. Go through all the photos. It's actually Brunswick green. It's not really obvious until you get to these really close-up shots, though. I had one of those dark walnut double-cut juniors. Apparently, there's some drama going on behind those. I've never had one. Can't take the measurements, so I'm not going to comment any further. But if the allegations are true, you might see a lot of these in the demo shop coming up. And lastly, a very nice looking 60 Standard in Dirty Lemon Burst, which is some dealer exclusive. I just can't remember. There's too many of them anymore. All right, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.